Dearest Egon, I arrived in Vienna at 10 o'clock this morning. On the plane I read a book about you until I fell asleep. I dreamt that it was a hot summer afternoon in 1909. As best friends, we spent long, wistful summer days side by side, drawing, talking, and teasing one another, until finally the sun went down and it was time to go home. We must have been about 19 and were students at the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. Above all else, we enjoyed talking about our dreams of becoming artists of stature and style like Gustav Klimt, and our plans to escape the academy and to set up the Neue Kunstgruppe, the new art group. We both resented the head professor there, Christian Griepenkerl, and even though you weren't a badly behaved student, your complete lack of willingness to obey the outdated teachings of the academy made you and the professor sworn enemies. Today was the day you told him, with a delicate and dignified tone, that you were leaving the school and would not be coming back. I thought the professor's eyes were going to burst out of their sockets when he heard this. "Schiele, for God's sake, do not tell anyone that you are my student," he replied. And that was that. We gathered our drawing pencils and paper, left the academy, and vowed to cultivate our own flower paths towards becoming independent artists. "Where do we go from here?" I asked you, with a slightly nervous chuckle. You suggested the idea of introducing ourselves to Gustav Klimt, saying that there we will find a true artist, a true teacher, and a true man that understands the true meaning and value of art. For such a sought-after celebrity, the Golden Gustav, as we like to call him, was never hard to find. For every morning, Klimt would breakfast at the famous Meierei in Schönbrunn Park, and every evening he would paint at his studio in the 13th district. Without thinking about it anymore, we tucked our portfolios under our arms and set off in search of the Golden Gustav. Egon, you knocked on the door, and when it opened, a bedazzling, semi-naked woman wearing a thin, silk, unfastened kimono, barely covering her chest, welcomed us inside. I remember vividly how Klimt's studio was decorated. Japanese woodblock prints and folding screens were everywhere, lavish kimonos draped over tables and chairs, lots of exquisitely bound books on Japanese art and theatre, fans and other oriental objects. The most beautiful models our eyes had ever set upon sashayed around the studio, and at the centre of this magnificent mecca, standing upright by an easel, was the striking figure of Gustav Klimt, dressed in a strange blue kaftan-like smock. "Come in, boys! What can I do for you?" "Grüß Gott, Herr Klimt," you said, with your softly spoken voice and slight Viennese intonation. "I am an artist, and have come to show you my drawings. Bitte, bitte, call me Gustav. Come over here. Let's see your work." Klimt placed your folder on a writing table near the window and began perusing the pictures, carefully lifting the pictures one after the other, as if he was prizing rubies out of a ring. After a short while, when Klimt, with his lucent blue eyes, had scanned several of your pictures closely, you asked him, "Do I have talent?" "Talent? Much too much." The rest is history. At that moment, I woke up to the flight's captain announcement preparing us for landing in Vienna. This was the most beautiful midsummer night's dream I've ever dreamt. Love, Sully.